at the very top of the hill, you're going to see Flamstead House. It's a building with a green dome and a T-bar and a red bull on top. And the red bull climbs to the top of that T-bar at 5 to 1 in the afternoon. The bull rises to the top. You have to wait for the bull to drop at 1 o'clock to set your watch to GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So it's calculated at 1 o'clock every afternoon. As the bull drops, so you set your watch to GMT. If you look ahead of the boat to your left and look around the corner to your left, you'll see the building with the yellow supports. That is the O2 Arena in front of the boat, the Millennium Dome. An events arena today. So concerts, sporting events held inside the O2 Arena. And if you look to our right, you can see a building with a sign, Malden Wharf. Look above it, you'll see the Emirates cable cart. So it crosses the river. That cable cart goes across the river, just behind Malden Wharf. So the river, it bends around the O2 Arena, goes beneath the cable cart, and back out to sea. And now we've turned the boat, on this side of the river, we're a little bit further away on your left. So you'll probably get a better photograph from here. But with your cameras, so wait until we're level with the two grey domes. So we've slowed the boat down. You'll get a much better chance to get a photograph then from this side of the river. The buildings on the left, they used to be our naval colleges, designed by Sir Christopher Wren and Indigo Jones. And now coming into view on top of the hill, you can see that red bull. So this is where east meets west. 0 meridian passes through that building. And so every single day at 5 to 1, the bull climbs up. And you have to wait, keeping your eye on the ball, as they say, for that ball to drop at 1 o'clock. We are now heading west. And if you go west of Greenwich towards America, there are 12 time zones. And as you pass through them, you subtract hours from GMT. East is behind us. Go east towards New Zealand, and there's another 12 time zones, but you add hours onto GMT. So east you add, west you subtract. And every clock around the world will take their time from Greenwich as that ball drops at 1 o'clock. It doesn't matter where you're from or where you go in the world, your time is calculated from Greenwich. Every clock in the world. Beneath the river there's a foot tunnel. On the right behind us there's a glass stone, but there's also one to your left, a glass stone.
Oh yeah.
You are able to walk beneath the river at this point, a foot tunnel.
Yeah, the foot tunnel.
And that tall sailing ship on the left, the Cutty Sark, built in Scotland, a tea clipper. So she would sail to India and China, bringing tea back to her. An old tea clipper. Either side of the boat now, a private apartment. Years ago, nobody lived on the river. No one lived here. It was all shipping and cargo stored in the warehouses. But all you're going to see now is private apartments. They do cost millions of pounds. You can see in front of the boat the river venting into the right. We're going to turn the corner now and it will become a very windy. So we get a little bit chilly, a bit cold upstairs. Feel free to stay upstairs if you wish. also in front of the boat, the Shard, the tallest building in the world in front of the boat. Over 1,000 feet. Designed by an Italian River Thames. So we're making good speed now. So we're pushing on. We're going to be at Tower Pier in 25 minutes. We stop at Tower Pier before we go to Westminster. On the outer roof on the top open deck, and all of the crew are fully trained. So we've got a lovely sunset. You'll see it soon. It's over to your left, the sun is setting, and you can see behind the boat the moon. It's getting a bit darker, a bit earlier now, of course. So the moon behind us, not a full moon. So on a full moon you get higher tides. Today the tide only reaches about 6 meters. On a full moon it can reach nearly 8 meters. So the tide is affected by the moon, of course. The gravitational pull of the moon. So at a full moon you get much bigger tides. When the tide is pushing the boat along, we go a little bit quicker now. So we spent a few minutes down at Greenwich getting our photographs, so we do need to push on. The areas we're passing through on the left, Deptford. So looking across the River Wall to your left, Deptford, you see this lovely sunset in London today. So it's been a lovely day today. Nice weather in London. Remembrance Day, of course, the 11th of November. Like yesterday, Remembrance Sunday, we remember those very brave war heroes. We'll leave you in a bit of peace and quiet now, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll come back on the mic as we get a bit closer to Tower Bridge. So any questions, feel free to ask. I hope you got some lovely photographs down at Greenwich Day. And thank you for listening. The capital city of London. And what is nice to see at low tide, if you look to your left, looking to your left, there's a bridge between the buildings. And at low tide, the water empties from the creek. So look underneath the bridge to your left, and you're going to see a muddy creekway. And it's where they filmed Oliver Twist. So if you've ever seen the movie Oliver, they filmed Oliver on the left in that muddy creekway on the low tide. That is where Fagin lived with his den of boy thieves. Fagin drops the box of jewels into the mud in that creek on the left. Bill Sykes fell to his death from the rooftops after chasing Nancy at London Bridge. So Charles Dickens, who wrote Oliver, he was from Bermondsey on the left, it's where he grew up. And he was famous for pickpockets, famous for thieving in this area. And it still hasn't changed very much. Even today, Bermondsey, very famous for thieving. Although not so much pickpockets, what you really need to be careful of, ladies and gentlemen, holding your phone, taking photos. Because London now is rife of people on bikes and they grab your phone. So be very careful with this, it's really a big problem at the moment. Because your phone will be open and they can get into all of your bank details. It's a big problem, seriously. I know many people now. They've been taking photographs and someone will ride a bike along and grab their phone. I know a few last week, it's really becoming a big problem. So just be aware of this in London. Taking the photographs, just look around you first. Just be careful. You're okay on the boat, I think. So on the streets, just be very careful. So we're going going to stop at Tower Pier, which is just ahead of us, and we'll be there for just over 5 minutes. And there'll be more people joining us. And so it's a lovely time to be on the river, because the buildings and the bridges are now lit up, although it's not too dark yet. So it's a nice time to be out on the river. And it isn't so windy in this part of the Thames. So if you're downstairs, perhaps you'd like to come upstairs and see the sights of London at night time or winter time. Thank you for listening throughout the journey. Hope you've enjoyed that little cruise from Greenwich. So I know my friend driving the boat now, he spoke to you going down the river. So we like to take it in turns throughout the day, driving the boat, pointing out a few buildings for you. So we leave our captain's bucket by the exit gate for the commentary, or a friend or myself, so it's shared amongst the crew. And I'll see you downstairs at the exit gate. Thank you.
Which you can find on my channel enjoy.
Don't worry. We're going to turn the boat the other way as well. We're going to spin the boat, so don't panic. And what we'll do, we'll face the bridge and then we'll turn to the left. You get a photograph on the right as well. We'll sit back and enjoy the cruise. We've made this journey thousands of times. You're on the river at low tide. If you look on the river's water, you can see the high tide mark. The tide is now coming into London from the North Sea in front of the boat. The tide, it comes into London for 5 hours, rising 7 meters. So come back in 5 hours time, it'd be 7 meters high. So low water. It's a nice time to be out on the river. It's just getting a bit darker now. You can see the bridges and the buildings are all lit up. 2,000. This is the big open 1970. The bridge before this was sinking in the 60s, so we took it down. And American company, $2 million, and he had a London bridge built around it. Does anyone know that? recognise the bridge we're passing through. It's a footbridge, and it's featured in our Harry Potter Millennium Bridge. Like Harry Potter fans, you might recognise it. On the right, follow the bridge along. On the right-hand side is St Paul's Cathedral. It took 35 years to build. Finally completed in the 17th century. Europe's second largest cathedral. The biggest is St Peter's in the Vatican. To your left, the building of Castle years ago a council, now they're Tate. So that is the largest modern art gallery, and it is full of. It doesn't cost any money to go inside there. Free to enter Tate. And once you've entered the room, once you've looked around inside that building, you'll then start to realise why it's free to enter. That's why there's a railway bridge. And the next one, that's why there's a bridge. And the colours inside the road, those that have steam trains from Dover heading to London. These bridges were built together. They are Victorian, as they used to carry steam trains. On the right, the building is up, arched windows. Years ago, the City of London School for Boys, where our wartime leader, Sir Winston Churchill, went to school. Not a school today. An American bank, J.P. Morgan, old school. To your left, it's up blue, is an office for River Thames, the large shipping company. Next door, the red light, that is the Oxo. If you're on the left, because of course we'll have to turn the boat, we'll come back as well. So on the right now, have your cameras ready, and you'll see a full-size view of the clock. We'll turn the boat quickly so we can listen to Big Ben chiming. Look, we've got 1 minute, 60 seconds until we hear the bells chiming. Does anybody on the boat know the name of the clock? I'll give you a clue. It's not Big Ben. It's called the Great Clock at Westminster and Elizabeth Tower. Inside the clock there are 2 bells. What you're going to hear next is the quarter bell. You're going to hear the quarter bell, and it's going to be followed by Big Ben 5 times. If you want to set your watch to Big Ben, let the quarter bell play, and then the first strike of Big Ben, you set your watch to 5 o'clock. So I'll leave you in a bit of silence now, let you listen to the bell. Remember, the first bell is the quarter bell.
Come on, we're waiting.
So there we go, we just heard